Hello everybody and welcome back once again. Here we are with another edition of Inside the Headset Week 4, Game 4. I'm with the head coach of the Oakland Patriots, Coach Kevin Creasy. Coach, Friday night, I was over here. You had a great crowd, great atmosphere, and came away with the win. And talk about the game because started off just like you normally do. Put the ball on the ground and you went right with the script, didn't you?
We've been in that situation before. We want to thank you for coming over. We thought maybe that would change things up. I lucked a little bit, but it didn't. We still managed to follow the ball a couple times, and for the third week in a row, we had a 2-score deficit, and we had to try to overcome. And luckily, our guys are made out of the right stuff, and they kept fighting, and we overcame a 2-score deficit.
Signals callers seemed to be more relaxed, more in groove, and offense seemed to operate just a little more efficient. It seemed like they were as they were making their moves and you were getting out and picking up that yardage, big hunks at times.
Yeah, we're proud of our offense. When we're doing our assignments and not turning the ball over. But at the same time, after a turnover, I got to give credit to our defense. They made a goal line stand. They had first and goal from about the 1. And 3 straight plays, they stopped them and held them to a field goal.
Right.
So I thought that was big, and that gave us a little bit of momentum, a little bit of good news, and we just kind of built off of that.
Like you said, defense was really good. Seemed like you got a lot of players in and out, and efficiently, logistically, was you happy with Friday night?
Well, we've got a lot of room for improvement, but like we talk every week, this thing isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, so if we continue to get better every week, that's what I'm most pleased about. I saw improvement on film.
Yeah.
I saw some guys doing a better job on film, but we still have a ways to go. And like I said, we're playing some inexperienced people, but the people we're playing are playing some inexperienced people. So, that's not an excuse. It's just a fact of life that we've got to get these guys some experience. And the good ones learn from their mistakes, and that seems to be happening.
Friday night, I thought that was the longest football game or the longest third quarter. I'm not for sure which one it was, but
I felt the same way.
Wasn't it the clock wasn't operating properly? I noticed it a couple of times, and I'm sure the press box kind of got a little upset with me because I said clock's running after a pass play, and then one side says, it was at 4:52. Other side says, there's a little, and that takes time in a game, and you're in a momentum, and it's, I don't know, was it and the refs wasn't saying it around, but I thought there was a lot of, all right, let's meet about this call, or let's meet about that call, or was it just me?
Well, they had a good crew.
Yeah.
But the clock operator and the crew were not necessarily on the same page.
Okay.
It was like an interpretation thing on when to stop the clock at a certain time, and that it just comes with working together.
Yeah.
Same with the coaching staff working together, getting used to each other. Incomplete passes, he was still waiting on the guys to make the signal over their head, and they were doing the incomplete pass, which everybody knows you stop the clock on an incomplete pass, but he had been told you wait till I go over my head. So it was just a little thing that they had to work out, and
that was the way he was taught. This is stop the clock. This is incomplete pass.
Right. So they worked it out, and we were just glad it wasn't a clock issue.
Right. Oh gosh. Yeah.
And so with both teams scoring a lot and a lot of incomplete passes, and then the clock having to be reset 3 or 4 times. Very long third quarter, without a doubt.
Well, and like I said, I didn't think it was somebody's error or somebody trying to maliciously do something. Like you said, it was just an interpretation of when and how and everything. So, what have you been doing since then? I know you're going to win Friday night. We know that, so that's a done deal.
We've got no fumbles on the menu for Friday night. We've got a bye week. We're definitely trying to heal up. Doing a good job of getting better. We went back to fundamentals on Monday. We labored on Labor Day.
It's hot.
We were happy to get a lot of good work on Labor Day. And like I said, blocking, tackling, hanging on the football, throwing and catching, all those things that a lot of times we take for granted that we're already mastered, and we need to move on and work on plays. And we're working on fundamentals, and we're worried about the Patriots this week. You know, who do we have to worry about this week? It's no one in our distant future. It's ourselves, and we've worked on ourselves this week. We've gotten after it. We've gotten physical. We're going at it again today. We'll give them Friday off, but at the same time, it was a great week to get some mental reps. We've been watching a lot of film. We've been getting a lot of hurt people healthy, and so it came at a great time.
Well, and you talk about fundamentals, and people say it, but it is so important. I mean, people do not understand in the game of football which foot you put forward, when you come up, where your hands are they here? Are they, where you attack the lineman and all that. Formation and technique is 90% of it, isn't it?
And we're not working plays, we're working players. We're not working defenses, we're working defenders. And so we know that you're only as good as the 11 you put out there. And so we're working on those guys. Had a great JV game Monday. Found a couple guys that we've got to start putting in on Friday. And then, of course, we had a nice win Monday night over at Siegel. Our freshmen, I think, won like 48-0. And there's some freshmen that are going to be moved up to JV.
That's good. That's good.
It's a process. There's nobody guaranteed anything because of seniority. It's not a feel-good program. We don't just play the guys that we feel like can play, and we don't just show up when we.
This isn't a Rotary Club.
Right. We don't sign up and pay a fee and just play. You actually got to earn some playing time, and so we're happy that those guys are practicing hard. We're happy that guys are really progressing in freshman games, JV games, and then of course we're trying to get better on Friday nights.
So going to give them all Friday night, and then we'll talk next week. Anything you'd like to say other than will you go? I have to ask. I mean, because will you head over to Blackman to watch your next opponent? I mean, why not? I mean, it's a no. I mean, you're here to coach. You're here to coach a football team. That's what you're hired to do.
We're planning on going and watching our next opponent, Blackman, and we've heard really good things about them. I've been checking out their scores and beat a couple quality opponents. It's one thing to beat McCallie, but to beat Riverdale the way they did, I thought that was quite impressive. And we've had experience with McCallie, so we know what a good team they are, and how well coached they are. So they beat two good teams in a row, and one was real convincingly. So I look forward to going and seeing them up close and personal this Friday, because they've got another quality opponent. Oakland and Blackman, there's one thing they definitely have in common. Their first part of their schedule is really rough.
Yeah.
And I know that Blackman's gotten better every week too. So that's going to be interesting to see just how much they've improved from the Jamboree. Of course, both of us, struggled at the Jamboree. Both of us played it kind of close to the vest at the Jamboree. But to see how they've progressed compared to what we've done and how much we've gotten better, it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to make for a great game. And that's the only thing I really got to talk about this week and next week is how proud I was at such a great showing. Coach Watson and I talked at the radio show over the weekend what huge crowds both of us had. Riverdale brought a lot to the Blackman game. Blackman showed up in masses. Us and Siegel, huge gate, a lot of fans. And that's what I just want to give a big shout out to Siegel and our fans for making it such a great environment for Friday Night Football.
To close, I would like to say I got to give a shout out because I do a lot of film work, and I tell you what, Jacoby had a great Friday night, and well deserving. He works hard, I know, but really showed his athleticism, both sides of the ball, and just one bad dude. He
had a very impressive night. And I'll say this, we had just watched film before you came in and watched it with the O-line and bragged on those guys.
Yeah.
They gave our quarterbacks so much time to throw the ball. It starts with a good snap, you know what I'm saying? We'll never hear about a great kicker if there's not a great snapper,
There's three phases of that: the snap, the hold, the kick.
And the same thing with pass plays. You got to have a good throw, but you got to start with a good snap. You got to have good protection. And I was so impressed with how much time our quarterbacks had to throw the ball. And the result of that was Jacoby had a great night. All right, Jacoby's getting named, Titans Player of the Week. He was named, I think,
D&J Player of the Week. What are you talking about?
102. I think it was 102.5, maybe 94.9 all these guys, D&J, naming player of the week, that's great. But we understand that it's the other 10 guys that make it possible for them.
Yeah.
And we're so proud that our quarterback's through on time. We put them in a great position because our linemen blocked great. And the other guys that were running routes on those plays weren't loafing. They were actually running really fast and hard as well, thinking they may get the ball as well. So, it's all 10 guys, and that's what we're really proud of. Give credit to Jacoby. He's an athlete, and he's a good football player. He's not perfect by no means.
No.
But I'll say this. I've never known Jacoby miss a workout. He's never missed a practice, never. And he's always the first one in here. I roll in usually about 6:30. He rolls in about 6:30 every morning. So, there's something to be said about God-given talent, but there's something to be said about people that show up early and leave late. And
He does the other parts of the formula. He just ain't waltzing in here and putting on a uniform.
That's right. And think about it, like I said, there ain't a kid on this team perfect, there ain't a coach perfect. But I'll say this. I can work with people that come early, show up early.
Give me a little something,
and they'll stay late.
Yep.
And while they're here, they're working.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing about it. That guy's never missed a weight workout. No matter what his injury is, he's always rehabbing or he's working other body parts. The guy's always at practice. He's never missed a practice, no matter the injury, no matter what kind of part of his body isn't working. We'll work around that to get him through practice. But at the same time, I think it speaks dividends on what kind of person you're dealing with. That dude is a worker.
He's a team player.
He's a team player, going to be a very successful guy in the future as well, because he's got inside of him those things that make people successful. Always early, shows up and works while he's here, and never makes excuses. And that guy, hey, he'll go to work today.
Well, that's good. Let's wrap it up. Oakland fans, you are off Friday night, so go find another game, whether it be one of the other ones in town. And we'll gather back up here next Wednesday, have a little chat with Coach, and then we'll get ready for the Blackman-Oakland game. So until then, we'll see you at the game.